So it's come to this. I feel like I don't even need to explain what Toy Story is. I'll just say it in simple words. It's a beloved franchise that I and many others adore. While the Cars series is and always will be my favorite of all time, Toy Story is definitely up there with it. It is the movie that not only kickstarted the rise of Pixar, but 3D animation as a whole. It has such a unique theme, and it has great world building as well, fueled by amazing characters. Some of the best villains in not just Pixar's catalog, but in the animation industry as a whole. And that's not even to mention its amazing themes and messages that they've conveyed throughout these three movies, as well as the beautiful ending they used in order to wrap it all up. Until Toy Story 4 came along. And let's just say there's a very good reason why everyone on the internet likes to say that Toy Story 3 was the real ending to the series. I'm not going to bother talking too much about Toy Story 4 in this video because of, well, but let's just say Toy Story 4 is an abysmal movie filled with bad writing, bad characters. It made the world building worse, portrayed a villain as the good guy, and that's not even to mention the ending, which conveyed one of the most toxic messages I have ever seen in any movie ever. And overall, it's just a gigantic piss stain on the entire franchise. Unfortunately, Disney likes money, and you know what that means.
Dude, we're getting the band back together!
Disney just had to continue milking this brand, so in 2023, Toy Story 5 was announced, and you might be thinking I'm one of those people who's just like, oh boo, Toy Story 5, what a terrible idea from the start. But actually, my story's different from everyone else's. When it was first announced, I was actually pretty excited for the movie, mostly because I just wanted it to fix the mistakes that 4 made. And there's also the fact that I was a pretty naive prick back then too, so I never really understood why everyone said they didn't want Toy Story 5. Then I actually matured and realized the very reason why. However, I was still cautiously optimistic about it. Then more concept art came out, and I kept getting more and more skeptical with each and every one. So, long story short, even though I've been kind of keeping this to myself when it came to the internet, I was hyped for Toy Story 5 at first, but over time, that hype was slowly but surely shattered. Then the actual trailer for Toy Story 5 came out, and that's when I just thought to myself, it, I want to talk about this trailer and the good and the bad that it had to offer. Hence why, for the first time in a while on the channel, you're seeing a video that's not about a sentient car. Hell, I don't even think I would be making this video if it wasn't for the fact that I cared. Toy Story is a franchise that deserves better than this, like many other franchises out there suffering the same fate as it. And if it's going to have a 5th movie after the trash heap that was Toy Story 4, then it should at least be getting the finale it truly deserves. Along with, also Toy Story 4's mistakes being fixed. Now, it may still get that, but I'm still pretty skeptical. Even though this trailer wasn't actually as bad as I thought it was. Okay, enough rambling, let's just get into the trailer. Okay, so this trailer actually starts off fine. I actually love the little watercolor animation they decided to use here for Bonnie's imagination. I think it honestly fits really well. However, I have one small complaint, and it's that this movie basically already forgot who Bonnie is. Yeah, one key difference between Andy and Bonnie is that Andy just creates these stories. Bonnie, on the other hand, just inserts herself into these stories. Not like it's a bad scene or anything, it just could have used a little bit of tweaking. But oh well, after that, the rest of the trailer should be problem-free, right? Right? Anyways, after all that, Bonnie becomes an iPad kid, and you know what that means. I feel like I don't even need to explain this, honestly, but let's just get into the rest of the trailer after this. So, as you'd expect from an iPad kid, she's just lazying around on the floor while the vacuum robot hits her foot. And that's just another problem I have with this trailer. Look, I get you wanting to teach a moral on why addiction to technology is a really bad thing, but why in the world did you choose Toy Story for this? Especially considering the first two movies are ones that took place in the 90s, and Toy Story 3 basically took place in 2007. To be fair though, Toy Story 4 does take place a couple years after Toy Story 3. Probably like 2009 or something. So if this happened in the early 2010s, then it actually kind of works a little bit more considering how common technology was becoming back in the 2010s. But this is a movie being used to teach Gen Alpha kids a lesson on why technology is not good for them to use all the time. And technology addiction was a lot less common in the 2010s compared to today. And it doesn't fit the Toy Story timeline. And by the way, about that iPad. That damn iPad. I guess we might as well get over with and just talk about her right now. She sucks. First of all, there is no way Woody and Buzz are this incompetent when they have handled far worse. And all the toys have to do is literally throw it in the f***ing toilet, and it's dead. I seriously don't get why the hell we're supposed to treat this like it's some type of actual threat for the toys to face. However, on the less negative side, I do actually have something positive to say about this iPad. Judging by this one clip here,
Me and the toys have been working all summer to try and get Bonnie to make friends.
I can actually see where this is going, and I kind of like it. It feels like they're going for a subversion where Bonnie's parents didn't just get her an iPad and she just magically became glued to it, but rather Bonnie wanted an iPad so that way she could fit in with other kids and make friends easier that way. If I'm interpreting this right, and if this was actually the case, which I hope it is, then I actually really like what they're going for here. My guess is this movie's message will not only be on why technology addiction is bad, but also on why letting your kids onto social media is a bad thing. I'm looking at you, Karens, who complain when their child watches something they're not supposed to, even when you let them onto a PG-13 site anyways. Now, on to a note that I've seen a lot of people talking about. Woody is back. I do not know what the hell is up with the poncho, but I'm happy he's back. Although I have got to be completely honest, the way Woody even found out about this made me very frustrated. You want to know why? Take a good long look. Now, I would have been happy that Woody had at least thought of a way to continue to communicate with the toys. But I don't remember him ever, and I mean ever, bringing out a walkie-talkie in the entirety of Toy Story 4. And how would they ever be able to even send a walkie-talkie to Woody if he was all the way across the damn country? The only way they can really justify this is if it turns out that the carnival came by Bonnie's house at one point and they just decided to use walkie-talkies. Otherwise, this is stupid. Woody wouldn't have known if it wasn't for this. And that's just what makes this so ridiculous. Despite that, I am happy that they explained how Woody got back, even if it was completely stupid, rather than just saying, oh, by the way, Toy Story 4 never happened. I mean, even though I'd like to pretend it would never happen, I don't want Pixar just erasing it and then making a 5th movie. Anyways, throughout a lot of this trailer, they're playing a remix of You've Got a Friend in Me by Randy Newman in the background, and I gotta say, I really like it. But I can't help but feel like they're kind of just nostalgia pandering there. And funny thing about that, there's actually a lot of scenes in this trailer where they nostalgia pander a little. That may not exactly be what it is, but I can't help but feel like they're kind of just taking advantage of nostalgia. And judging by the comments, they're doing a pretty good job. Now, I don't want to gloss over everything in this trailer, but I find it kind of interesting that it kind of looks like the Buzz Lightyear army isn't really gonna be evil after all, which is actually more of a criticism than a positive. Because this probably means we're gonna end up having 50 wasteful side characters in this movie. Oh yeah, by the way, that's another thing. They're sidelining the characters again! Only this time, it's even worse. Because unlike the last movie where they sat on their asses in the RV, in this movie, it looks like they're not even gonna be there. It seems like they're just gonna be at home and that's going to be it. And for what? This pointless ass character who's really just talking toilet humor? I already just know these side characters are only really gonna be here just to be funny, and that's gonna be it. They're just gonna be pointless additions and nothing more. You know what? I'm just gonna say this to everyone as a general message to not only writers of fan fictions or just their own stories, but also studios too. If you're gonna put side characters in a movie, make sure they're useful. Or at least have a moment to shine. That's exactly what they did with the side characters in the original Toy Story trilogy. And it sucks that they're being replaced with some of the biggest examples of pointless side characters. And I know, I'm one to talk. I mean, by no means necessary am I here to compare myself to Pixar, but I will just throw this out there that I too fell victim to this. Let's just say I had the same problem with these side characters, and I hope to improve them in the future. Okay, sorry for that little tangent. I just had to throw that out there for any fans who watch the channel. Now, you're here for Toy Story 5, so let's get back to it. Anyways, there is this one moment in the trailer that I do want to give some attention to. And it's this part where I'm going to interpret something, and it's where Bonnie is holding Jessie. My interpretation is that this is a scene where Bonnie shows she really still cares about her toys even despite her iPad addiction, but just has never really gotten the time to play with them. Which makes me realize this is how my toys feel when I'm watching social media in my spare time. So, yeah. As for the other interpretation I have for this scene, I'm also going to guess that this is right before Bonnie gets her iPad, that she's just looking at Jessie and thinking, thanks for all the playtimes, but I'm gonna have more fun with LilyPad now, or whatever. So, alright. Pretty fine trailer, I guess. Now, I'm just super happy that they didn't have this one scene in the trailer where they ruined a character even more than they did in the previous movie.
Buzz, you stay here. I'm going with them.
You don't think I can do it?
No!
Nice poncho.
What the fuck?
It's good to see them fighting again. It sure is.
Son of a... You done messed up!
I have no idea what dumbass thought this was a good idea. Especially considering just how many people criticized how Buzz was so dumb in Toy Story 4. But I gotta say, I loathe every bit of this last part of the trailer. I feel like I don't even need to explain why this is the very first dumb Buzz Lightyear joke we've seen in this trailer. Buzz doesn't think. He just says, "You don't think I can do it," and just goes out there. The real Buzz Lightyear was way smarter than this. If he was really smart in this scene, he would have actually taken into account what Woody said, and if he had anything to say against this or making counter arguments, he wouldn't have just said that. Buzz Lightyear is not stupid. He never even was. Sure, he was delusional, but there's a big difference between being delusional and being a dumbass. There are many moments throughout the entire Toy Story trilogy where Buzz is actually shown to be a very, very smart character. For some reason, the writers of these last two movies thought that Buzz was a dumbass for some reason. Now, Pixar, I know I shouldn't be saying this for everyone, but I mean it when I say this. Buzz Lightyear is not dumb. He never was. Please, stop misremembering the plot of the first Toy Story movie. Now, what else pisses me off here? Well, like I said, the nostalgia pandering. Especially Woody and Buzz fighting to the point where Mr. Potato Head even says it's good to see them fighting again as a callback to the very first movie. Yippee, character regression. My favorite trope. And I swear to gosh, for those who are about to say, "Oh, well, come on, dude." Even after Toy Story 1, they still had arguments. Sure, good idea. Compare Woody and Buzz having a genuine argument that made total sense to them just acting like 6-year-olds. Yes, they had arguments, but at least they were arguments that made sense. Here, this just feels like a complete regression of their characters just for the sake of being a reference to Toy Story 1. And why, I must ask, why did they think this was a good idea? Well, I can tell you why. They just wanted to exploit your nostalgia. Guys, I'm just as nostalgic for Toy Story 1 as a lot of you guys are, but this doesn't stop it from being one of the most stupidest character regressions in any movie ever. Yes, friends fight. I don't believe for even a second that just because Woody and Buzz had gotten over their differences in the first movie, it wouldn't mean they would never fight again. Here, this just feels more like a rivalry argument rather than an actual genuine friendship. And these whole last 30 seconds of the trailer just didn't understand what made these characters so damn good. Oh yeah, also I did forget to mention this, but part of me's kinda dreading and liking the idea of Jessie being the main character in this movie at the same time. To be fair, I like Cars 2, so as long as Woody and Buzz get as much focus as Jessie, then I'm fine with it. But at the same time, I'm really hoping they don't do some type of regression to Jessie's character here. I love what they did with her in Toy Story of Terror, and I know that just because she overcame a part of her PTSD and pushed through it, that doesn't mean it's completely gone forever. Obviously, anyone with PTSD can tell you that just because they push through their fears of it doesn't mean that it's gone forever. I'm just a little worried about them redoing her arc in Toy Story of Terror. That's my real concern. But on the other hand, I do also see a bit of potential for her character in this movie as well. I mean, I do think there is a little bit they can do with her in this movie, but point is, I'm not really excited, nor am I really opposed to it either. I don't know. I just hope they know what they're doing, is all. Before we get to the conclusion of this video, I'd just like to make one more prediction, and it's one I've seen a couple of other people make, but I can't help but feel like they're going to have the toys and technology come to terms with each other and agree to have equal spare time with Bonnie or some bullshit like that. Especially with a clip from the trailer where they're shown admiring something on LilyPad's screen. I don't know how exactly they're going to do this, but I can't help but feel like they're going to do this, and they're going to pull some lesson about how two things can coexist together. And something tells me they're going to do it quite poorly at the same time. Anyways, with all of that out of the way, I think it's finally time to wrap up this video. Yeah, you know what, let's just get to the point. Toy Story 5 doesn't really look like a good movie. By no means do I think it will be as bad as Toy Story 4 was, but it looks bad. And that's a shame, because coming into this trailer review, I actually was kind of in the middle, but then I noticed more and more problems with it, and it just kind of soured my opinion on the trailer. I really hope that Toy Story 5 is actually a great movie, and that everything we've seen so far has just been pretty bad marketing for the movie. But you know what? You won't be seeing me in theaters when it comes out. Maybe when it's on Disney Plus I'll watch it. But going to see it in theaters just tells Disney we want this franchise to be milked, even though we don't. And I suggest you guys do the same if you don't want a Toy Story 6. So, if you don't want another Toy Story movie, don't go see Toy Story 5 in theaters. Because if you do, Disney is only going to want to continue to milk the Toy Story brand. And Toy Story deserves better than this. It's a rightfully beloved brand that doesn't deserve to continue to be milked and just used for exploiting everyone's nostalgia. Now, if you're looking forward to the movie and would disagree with me on everything I've said, that's perfectly fine. I get it. That was more of a humble suggestion rather than a do not go and watch Toy Story 5 because gosh forbid. You have every right to want to go see it, honestly. It's just that if you don't want them to continue milking the Toy Story brand and you are against the idea of Toy Story 5 and, well, basically you agree with everything I said here, don't go watch it. Anyways, with all of that aside, thank you guys so much for watching this video and everything. I know the Toy Story 5 trailer isn't really that relevant anymore. But hey, better late than never, am I right? Yeah. Sorry I took so long with the video. There were certain moments where I got way too busy so that I had to take a break from the video. But I'm glad to have it out now. And yeah, I know this isn't a video about Lightning McQueen, and I get it, guys. But honestly, if you're one of the Cars fans who actually wanted to watch this video, then I'm happy. And by the way, if you're just a casual Pixar fan in general, or you like both Toy Story and Cars perhaps, or, you know, you're just a casual fan of Cars or whatever, why don't you check out my channel? I mean, I'm not forcing you to, but, you know, just a suggestion. Anyways, everybody, that'll do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below. What are your thoughts on the Toy Story 5 trailer? Did you think it was good? Did you think it was bad? And, are you going to even see this movie in theaters? Anyways, peace out, everyone.